Hey everybody, this is Anthony Vandegrift with Endtime Ministries, and this is Prophecy in the News. There's a lot of people today who think that Islam is going to be the power that takes over the world in the coming end times. They believe that the Antichrist is going to come out of Islam and rule over the world government system. However, that's not the case. I'm going to start reading today in Daniel chapter 2 and start at verse 31. If you'd like to follow, please feel free. It says, "Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. The image's head was of fine gold, his breast and arms of silver, his belly and thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth." So from this prophecy, we can learn the order of kingdoms that would rule on the earth before the second coming of Jesus Christ. Babylon was the head of gold, and then Media-Persia was the arms and breast of silver, the belly and thighs of brass was the Grecian Empire, the Roman Empire was the legs of iron, and the feet of iron mingled with clay was the Holy Roman Empire. The Holy Roman Empire started in 800 AD when Pope Leo III crowned Charlemagne as the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. The empire then dominated Europe for the next 1,000 years, but a lot of people believe that it ceased to exist in the 19th century. But on November the 3rd of 2009, the Holy Roman Empire was actually reborn with the signing of the Lisbon Treaty. And here's an interesting fact about the Holy Roman Empire. History tells us that from the time of Otto's coronation until the official dissolution of the empire in 1806, the imperial title was held almost exclusively by German monarchs. Well, that's interesting because the Bible actually tells us about the leopard, which represents Germany in Bible prophecy. We see this in Daniel chapter 7, and we also see it in Revelation chapter 13. So let's read the account in Revelation chapter 13, starting at verse 1. It says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority." So the world government system of the Antichrist, the revived Holy Roman Empire, is going to have the body, or it's going to be like the leopard. So Germany is going to be a huge part of the coming world government of the Antichrist. Now, why is all of this important? Well, it's important because the Financial Times actually released an article on October the 22nd called "Welcome to Berlin, Europe's New Capital." Here's just a short portion that we find in it. It says, "Yet while the German capital has deliberately eschewed the trappings of imperial power, the fact is that Berlin is increasingly the de facto capital of the EU. Of course, the EU's main institutions, the Commission and the Council, are still based in Brussels, but the key decisions are increasingly made in Berlin." So this article is telling us that Germany is becoming the capital of the European Union, or the power of the European Union. And that's interesting when we look at the prophecies of the Bible, seeing that the Holy Roman Empire is going to be this world government system that is going to be in place before the Lord comes back, and that in the history of the Holy Roman Empire, Germany was always such a huge factor, and typically the ruler of the Holy Roman Empire came from Germany. So with all of this being taken into account, are we actually seeing the prophecies of the Bible happening right now today? So it would seem. Thank you for watching today. I'm Anthony Vandegrift with Endtime Ministries, and this has been your Prophecy in the News.